Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Bamirich here, and yes, today we're going to be going through the game week 19 fixtures. So not all of them, obviously, just a few key talking points from game week 19. So a game week 19 roundup, if you like, and also just a few key talking points from game week 20, because obviously the turnaround between game week 19 and 20 is ridiculously short, one day apart, literally, not even a few hours apart. So I'll be covering a few other key talking points, or few key fixtures for game week 20 as well, if there are any. Let's see. But yes, before we get into it, just like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching the videos as always, and yeah, let's get into it. First things first, COVID is running rampant in the Premier League right now. You know, it's got the Premier League in a headlock, it's got the football fixtures in a headlock, right? We don't know when fixtures are going to get cancelled. 1 minute, you've got 10 fixtures. Next minute, you already got 5. And game week 19 was no different. We had, I think, 3 fixtures were cancelled. Liverpool, Leeds, Wolves, Watford, and Burnley, Everton were postponed, which is not great really, especially when you're trying to consider how the Premier League are going to reschedule all these fixtures. It's great in a sense because it means we've all got lots of fixtures to look forward to, right? And that will have to happen either in January or February. I don't know, maybe later in the year, earlier in the year. I don't know. But it's going to be really, really hard for the players, I assume, right? Because a lot of fixtures pile up. That's already causing a lot of issues with the next games, right? So game week 20, we don't know what fixtures are going to go ahead. Obviously, they've already confirmed that the Arsenal Wolves game and the Leeds Villa game have been postponed for game week 20. But who knows? A lot of teams are getting injuries. Even from this game week 19, players went off injured in the Newcastle game. For Newcastle, players went off injured for other teams. Leeds, for example, not Leeds, sorry, Leicester, for example. And these teams already are light, right? Because they've got serious COVID issues already. Arsenal running out of players. Chelsea getting injuries. It's gonna be hard for these teams to continue playing football. And so we don't know right now really. If the fixtures that are meant to go ahead for game week 20 are going to actually go ahead. So let's see if that's gonna remain the same. But I thought I'd start with that because really and truly that is the main key talking point from this week, right? Like we just don't know how many fixtures are going to be going on game week to game week. Hopefully a lot of teams are like getting over the COVID issues, and hopefully as people are saying, a lot of players will start getting vaccinated and stuff like that to hopefully stop the spread and all this other jazz. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but yeah, we just want to see some football played, right? So anyway, let's talk about the fixtures that happened in game week 19. Some of them, right? And I'll start off with United Newcastle. Yes, that game just finished, and watching it, it just made me think: are these on the Manchester United players? Yeah, are these players actually as good as some of us think? Now, the game finished 1-1, for those that didn't watch the game. Finished 1-1. Newcastle scored first from Set Maximum, and obviously, for those that didn't watch it, Cavani equalised for United. And he came on at half-time because United looked absolutely dreadful in the first half. We were giving away the football so many times, not stringing enough passes together. Fred had to come off at half-time because he just wasn't playing well. And to be honest, none of the United players were playing well in that first half. Newcastle looked really, really good. And bear in mind, Newcastle are basically, before that game, were joint bottom of the table. I think now they've got 11 points, so they're just one off the bottom because Norwich have 10 points. And United have struggled against both Newcastle and Norwich in the last 2 fixtures. Obviously, we managed to beat Norwich 1-0, but Newcastle we drew 1-1 with. And it just wasn't good enough, really. I don't want to get carried away. I've had a bit of time to calm down, think about it, and it could be COVID related because United had obviously we haven't played for the last 2 fixtures. And so it could be COVID related. It could be that the players are just a bit tired. They're recovering from the COVID symptoms. Who knows, right? And also, Ralf Rangnick has only had 3 weeks, 4 weeks, not even 4 weeks, 3 weeks for these players to get across these ideas. So he's not a magician, he's a manager, right? He's going to take time to get his ideas across and get these players playing to the level that he wants them to play at. But certain things that I think might be an issue for United, right? This system that he's playing, 4-2-2-2, with the 4 at the back, 2 holding midfielders, then Bruno and Rashford at the moment. Bruno and who was it that played last game? I can't remember who, right? But anyway, Bruno and Rashford in this game, and Greenwood and Ronaldo up top, or Greenwood and Rashford kind of swapped places. And that this formation doesn't seem to be working well for Bruno, in my opinion, because Bruno is excellent as a 10, right? We all know he's played well in that number 10 position, but it doesn't seem to be working for him in this position where he's almost like drifting out too wide, and he's not in the central position to make a difference and get goals, get assists like he was doing last season. So that's an issue. Secondly, I think we all know this already, but we need a defensive midfielder, a proper defensive midfielder. Fred wasn't very good this game. He has been good for the last few weeks, last few game weeks, but this week he wasn't good. Matani for me wasn't that good either. We need that, and also thirdly, we need to get Cavani on the pitch, because every time Cavani plays, he's excellent. I don't think I've ever had an issue with him on the pitch. Like, he's always passionate, but not just passionate, he's actually good as well. So those are issues that I think United have to deal with, right, going forward, because we can't be struggling against, no offense to Newcastle, teams like Newcastle and teams like Norwich, when really we have aspirations to finish in the top 4. Newcastle, on the other hand, they look good. They look really, really good. Wilson looked excellent before he came off. St. Maximum looked really good, also came off injured. Now, those two are going to be a problem. Those two being injured are going to be a problem for Newcastle, because they're trying to fight relegation. And I don't think they'll get relegated, but if they've got all these COVID issues as well, I think they said they're suffering with COVID issues, but also with the injuries, teams have to be able to field, I think, 13 players plus a keeper, to be able to play a game, right? Otherwise it'll get postponed. And I think they're going to be struggling. And to be honest, even if they had 13 plus a keeper, these teams are small. They're going to be tired. The turnovers are really, really quick. So it's going to be a struggle for a lot of these teams to field teams, right? And win games. So I think that might be the only issue for Newcastle. But then I guess everybody else is also facing similar issues. So the teams around them might also struggle anyway. But I do think they should be fine. But long story short, United should not be struggling against Newcastle. United should not be struggling against Newcastle and Norwich. They should be beating these teams. So Ralph Rangnick has a lot of work on his hands. Top 4. Let's quickly talk about top 4, right? That looks like it's slipping away for United a little bit. It looks like we're going to have to... Fair enough, we're unbeaten in 5, so let's not get carried away. We've drawn 1-3 in the last 5, right? But Arsenal are looking really good, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But generally, top 4 for United... we have to be careful here, because we've got 2 games in hand on Arsenal. Yeah, we've got 2 games in hand on Arsenal, but Arsenal are on 35 points, United are on 28. So if United win their 2 games in hand, we're only 34 points. So we're still a game behind Arsenal. But good thing is Arsenal's got City next, so hopefully that helps United a little bit. Tottenham are probably the main problem at the moment. They're looking really good under Antonio Conte, who... you could say United should have gotten in charge instead of Ralph Rangnick, but who knows? We'll see what happens with that. And yeah, so Tottenham have a game in hand on us, but they're already ahead of us. I think they're already a point ahead of us. So it looks like top 4 is theirs to lose. It's in their hands at the moment. If they win their games in hand, they're looking good. Once again, though, they've got Chelsea in the next 2 fixtures, I believe. So let's see what happens with that. But that's it on United. Let's go into the next game that I wanted to talk about this week. And that game, actually, before we talk about Arsenal and how they're doing, let's talk about City and that City versus Leicester game. Now, that City versus Leicester game finished 6-3. Yeah, 6-3. What a game. City looking ridiculous. Around this time of the year, they always seem to just get into, 7th gear, not even 6th, 7th gear, and then no one can keep up with them. They're just full speed ahead. And I think they've won their last 9 games. They've only lost 2 games all season. They're looking ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. They've scored a ridiculous amount of goals in the last 5 games. They're just scoring a lot of goals at the moment, spreading it across the team. They're looking unstoppable. Kevin De Bruyne is back in form. There's no one really out of form in their team, and they're also struggling from COVID issues as well. I think they said Kyle Walker's out. Who else? I think they have somebody else out, Rodri or something as well out. But they're fine. They can just bring in players willy-nilly, easily. They're now 6 points ahead of Liverpool, right? 6 points ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea, but Liverpool have a game in hand on them. 6 points is a lot at the top of the table, and City just don't look like losing. Like I said, they've got Arsenal in the next 2 fixtures, I think. They've got Arsenal soon anyway. So that might be a typical fixture with the form that Arsenal are on. But I do think City are going to have too much Arsenal, and they'll just continue. They're just steamrolling teams as like it's so easy for them at the moment. Liverpool obviously looking good anyway. Chelsea are slightly climbing themselves back into this title race. Like I said, only 6 points off them, but without that game in hand that Liverpool have. But for me, it's looking like City have got this title tied up. It's a shame to say it, obviously, but it looks to me like they've got this tied up. They're gonna win this. I don't really see anyone stopping them. They're top on Christmas Day, which is usually a good omen for whoever that team is. If you're top on Christmas Day, then you usually tend to go on and win the league. So it looks like they are going to win the league this year. But let's see what happens. Leicester, on the other hand, are in free fall, right? They've only won 2 of their last 8 games or something like that. They're not doing that well at the moment. So they're in a bit of free fall at the moment. But so for them, I think top 4 is gone. I think top 4 is now between United, West Ham, Tottenham, and Arsenal. And realistically, it's probably just United, Tottenham, and Arsenal. And if I'm being extra realistic, it probably is just Tottenham and Arsenal, because they're looking really, really good, and United are not so much. So let's move on to Arsenal, right? Like I was saying, they're on pretty good form at the moment. Beat Norwich 5-0 or 0-5, 5-0. And they're looking really, really good. Saka's on form. Tomiyasu's on form at the back. Ramsdale's looking good. Who else is looking at? Emil Smith-Rowe, Martin Odegaard looking great. Literally, the team is looking very, very solid for Arsenal at the moment. And you have to give props to Arteta. He's done a pretty decent job. He's had to deal with whatever issues he's had with Aubameyang. Not my place. I'm not an Arsenal fan really, so I'm not really going into the details. But it doesn't seem like he dealt with it, for me, in the right way, in terms of making it so public, and he could have kept it in house somehow. I don't know. But either way, it's working, right? They're doing really well since Aubameyang's been out of the team. They've won 4 in a row now, I think. Yeah, there's been against easy teams, Norwich, Leeds, West Ham, Southampton. But they won the games, right? United struggled against the same Norwich team. Arsenal thrashed them 5-0. And they're looking really good. Like I said, their next fixture has been postponed for against Wolves. But they do have is it City, I think, after that. So they'll probably lose that game. Let's see, who knows? But like I said, they're on good form, so I wouldn't put it past them to beat Arsenal, to beat City. Don't see it happening, but you never know. Let's talk about Norwich just for a little bit. Norwich, I've already said from early in the season that they look like they're getting relegated. That hasn't changed. I still think they're getting relegated, but really and truly, realistically, they're actually not that far off safety. I think they're only 6 points off safety. They're 3 points off, but I think the team in 17th has a game in hand on them. So let's just say they're 6 points off safety. And to be honest, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they'll win games and climb up the table. I don't see it happening. I do see them going down along with probably Burnley and Leeds, maybe. I think Newcastle will stay up. They look really good today. But I just don't see those other teams staying up. So I don't see Norwich staying up. But yeah, so that's it for game week 19. Let's talk a little bit about game week 20. I'm not going to go into any of the fixtures for game week 20. Really, there's not really any standout fixtures for game week 20. I think the main fixtures that once again, there's another quick turnaround. So we've got the fixtures from the 28th of December, so Tuesday to Thursday, and then you've got straight away after from Thursday to Saturday, there's one day gap, and then Saturday's the next round of fixtures. So it's a quick turnaround for these players, for these teams, and with the COVID situation as it is, I do think there might be a few more postponements. I hope not, obviously, because we just want to watch some football, right? But like I said already, the Arsenal Wolves game has been cancelled already. What's the other game? Leeds Villa has been postponed as well, and Wolves that seem to be struggling. I don't think they've played for a while, and I don't know who else. Burnley haven't played for a while. I think they've only played 15 games, where other teams have played 19 games now, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more postponements. United are meant to face Wolves in 2 weeks, or in 2 game weeks, not 2 weeks. So even that game might be postponed as well if Wolves can't get their act together. It's not their fault, I guess. So I think really and truly the key talking point for game week 20 is what fixtures are actually going to go ahead. How are we going to get some football being played? There's not like a standout fixture as per se. The main fixture that would be probably quite interesting for most people is the Leicester-Liverpool game, which is going to be on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And that game, I reckon Liverpool probably win that. Not even probably. I'm pretty confident they'll win that. Leicester looking very leaky lately. You know, the defense is looking like a tap. They conceded 6 against City. That's nothing to be ashamed of, I guess, because everybody concedes a lot against City. So I'm surprised United didn't concede more than 2. I think it was they beat us that other last month. But forget United. So I think that'll be a good game. Spurs Southampton should be good as well. And obviously United versus Burnley. Hopefully United can come back and actually play better. I'd love to see us play better. You know, bring in a few other players that haven't been able to play in these last few game weeks. You know, Van der Beek maybe starting because I think Bruno got a yellow card against Newcastle, so he's missing the Burnley game. So hopefully that'll give someone like Van der Beek a chance to shine, to show a bit different, because Bruno was being very wasteful, I think, on the ball against Newcastle. So hopefully Van der Beek can show that he can be a bit more, look after the ball a little bit better. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching as always, and let's hope that the fixtures, like I said already, in Game Week 20 are excellent and a good watch all round. And I'll be back after those probably on Friday with another video just to cover what happened in Game Week 20 and maybe preview some of the fixtures for Game Week 21 as well. Let's hope that no more fixtures are postponed and we can actually talk about some football, right? Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.